What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from, the Jeremy Hambley channel. I had a plan on taking the weekend off. I just got home from church, and so I had about 20 messages from my members Discord. By the way, make sure you get in there. I'll leave a link in the description below. The news breaks there first. We had the second incident at a church in Michigan in the last 90 days alone. Not including the incident at the church in Minneapolis, in the sense that's 3 churches in the last 90 days. This is not a coincidence. I know I've only been to church 3 times now, but I don't think you have to be, a lifelong Christian to see that there is a war going on. It is against Christians, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it was an LDS church today." I don't think most people are smart enough to know the subtle nuances of the difference. I mean, Mormons still believe in Jesus Christ. I'm certainly not as grizzled and been around in church long enough to hey, they believe in Jesus, I believe in Jesus, we're good. But just the story's been developing. I feel like we have enough information now to make a video. We'll probably have more information later, so make sure you subscribe. Now, in Grand Blanc, I think is how you say it, 1 has passed away and 9 wounded, and many more feared trapped in the church. This is a man with a truck. Now, there's conflicting reports. Someone said he drove into the front doors, and then there's pictures showing the truck with 2 what appear to be brand new American flags on it, smashed into the side of the building. And so I don't know for sure if it was the front doors or the side of the building, but we do know that there was a truck that was rammed into the church, and that there was an IED left in that truck, which was just removed. He also, I guess after the crash happened, people came out of the church. This is one of the most there's many heartbreaks in the story, but people came out of the church to help him because they thought it was an accident, and that's when he opened fire on them. We don't yet have a name. Again, I have another report of this former soldier later today who did something just as heinous yesterday. I wish I didn't have all this garbage to report today, but it's part of my job. He's as of yet unnamed. He's 40-year-old from Burton, rammed his truck, which had two large American flags in the bed. And the picture I saw, they look brand new. I mean, here's the truck. These are brand new. Look at the colors. These things are brand spanking new. And I entered the church and must have had something else with him too. There's some sort of incendiary device, because the entire church got burned to the ground, and there's untold numbers of people that were stuck in the fire that we will not know the total toll here. This could end up being easily the worst attack like this in American history, other than maybe 9/11. There could be hundreds of people still in the church. I don't know. We know, people were probably hiding when the blaze started. I'm praying that report is wrong, but it doesn't look like it. Photographs shared on social media show a fire tearing through the church with a large plume of smoke over the head. Emergency vehicles could be seen parked outside. At least one person was carried away from the scene on a stretcher. The loser who did this has not yet been publicly identified. A motive for the rampage has not been given. Obviously, we know. Now, with the other person last night, which would be my second video today, I don't know. That person appears to be some sort of schizo ex-soldier who actually got, I think, some sort of head wound and had been filing all these lawsuits. Just a crazy person. I don't know that was necessarily ideologically driven, but when you would go after a church, I think it's pretty clear, especially the second one in 2 months or so in Michigan alone. So it goes on. Writing on social media, several witnesses said at least 4 people had not survived, though the police have not published that. I saw the police publish at least one. One witness said the church had been completely destroyed by the blaze, and that they saw the loser's truck parked in front of the building. We do have multiple victims, the sheriff added. Police just before 1 p.m. as the fire had been contained. We do not know the names of the victims at this time. Again, I'm seeing reports. We don't know how many people were hiding in the church as the blaze ripped through it. The Daily Mail reached out to the sheriff's office. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer condemned the atrocity. My heart is breaking for the Grand Blanc community, she wrote. Violence everywhere, especially in a place of worship, is unacceptable. Unless you're on the left, then of course it's totally fine. I mean, this is something I've seen. You know, I was getting texts while I was in church. My church has guards, but I'm not sure they're armed. But I can tell you that many people that I know there are. This has become a reality of being in these areas, apparently. Now, people are saying this picture is fake. Everybody's reporting about the 2 American flags. I'm thinking there was an initial report that he went through the front doors, but maybe that was wrong and he came through the front doors and this was the truck. I think they could be, I think it's more than likely that picture is real. But this is obviously an op trying to frame somebody on the right. Would you have two, like, right wingers don't attack churches? That's not what right wingers do. Right wingers, I mean, if it was an abortion clinic or something like that, maybe you could say that. But right now is one of the scariest times in the world and in the history to be in these, my lifetime, to be in large gatherings. This says, so the full toll is unknown, but hundreds of worshipers were inside the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints during the incident, and horrifying pictures show the entire structure engulfed. So he must have had some other explosive device with him that he also detonated. And police responded, a DNR officer and a local cop responded and dispatched him in a firefight, which is great. But we can't have any more soft targets. If you go to church regularly, you need to ask them what their security plan is. And if they don't have one, they should have one. And every church should have armed parishioners, armed guards. It's the reality. Everybody in the church should be armed, and then these attacks would stop. Churchgoers reportedly heard a loud bang as the attacker crashed his truck into the church. At first, we thought somebody had accidentally crashed into the church, so we went out to help him, the man told the TV station. Dramatic aerial footage showed, so it looks like, I think that picture is probably real. I just don't think it was in the front door, as was originally reported. Nick Soder has also reported, an IED had just been pulled from the truck at the Michigan church, where it was already on fire per the scanner traffic. So this is probably the truck, and he probably just crashed on the side of the building to start a commotion. The other interesting thing in here is that both doors are open. Now, maybe somebody searched the vehicle, and that's why the doors were open. Was there 2 people? I don't know yet. We know based on reports inside that there was only one shooter, but was there another person behind left in the truck? A lot of people are arguing, well, Mormonism isn't Christianity, but they believe in Jesus. I'm not going to nitpick it. Donald Trump responding, I've been briefed about the horrendous incident that took place at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. The FBI was immediately on the scene and will be leading a federal investigation, providing full support to the state and local officials. The suspect is gone, but there's still a lot to learn. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted. I mean, how about the Trump administration deploy 2 to 3 National Guards people at every church in this country? We probably have enough. We probably have enough. I just don't know. You just can't have, you cannot have these soft targets anymore. We can't have these soft targets anymore. It is very, very scary out there right now. And again, this was 2 months ago, a Michigan deacon thwarting attack on the church by ramming his truck into the person who was doing it. If this was the deacon, shout out. Every church should have people, on staff that are ready and can, defend against these maniacs. This guy's a hero, probably saved dozens of lives. Again, we're still waiting. I know that AI, there's a name getting thrown out there by AI. I don't think it's right. In fact, it looks like they've updated it. They had listed some sort of name, but I don't think that was right. I think it was like the name of the singer of The Cure or something like that. I'm not totally sure. But right now is a time to pray, but it's also a time to learn to carry and practice. Don't just carry, practice. Understand where the exits are in the buildings that you're in. It could save your life. It could save the lives of other people. Take 5 minutes when you go to church, look around, after church one day, just walk around, figure out, okay, well, if something crazy happens, how do I get out of here? Here's a door, here's a door, here's a door. If that door's blocked, I can go to this door. If this door's blocked, I can go to that door. Whatever the case is, you need to understand these things. This is the world we're living in right now. I wish that that wasn't the advice I was giving you, but the other advice would be nonsense and would have no chance of saving your life. Women, you have a purse, bring it to church, you could carry right in. It's depending on your local laws, right? Men, you obviously know, you have many options as well. But most importantly, too, you got to learn how to get out of these places. When chaos strikes, you got to learn how to get out. And this will not be the last. There are demons walking among us right now, and they're sowing chaos nearly every single day. And I'm praying for you guys, and I will update you as soon as I have more information. Guess I won't be taking the day off, but make sure you subscribe to this channel to keep up to date, and we'll talk to you again real soon.